me come back one time and play the disclaimer, eh? You, Mr. Corporal, yeah, people, lawyer calling we here. I'm just simply saying the views of Corporal. I know he is and I know he live in. So when all you said it there. The views of Corporal or Barataria or whatever he's called himself on radio. It's not the views of myself, Mr. X Devore, or the Street 919 FM. We don't know nothing about nothing. We don't know who wife leave who and when they left. We don't have that information. Corporal, be careful what you say on radio. Everybody listens to the balance.
Yes, now that is true because it's for everyone.
Yeah, I just want to let you know that the people lawyer call and they ask us to retract what was said.
Play the disclaimer.
Wait, which part I find it? Come quick and find it. Quick. Find it for me. Thank you very much. Wait, hold on. At the bottom here. Yeah, right there. Right, Bob. Tongue in the end there. Wait, hold on. Wait.
Up here.
Up here in the corner. So. Right.
Rest are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
All right, just having to do that to cover my back. So I now come back here. Me no battle with nobody, you know. And I ain't looking for none. Having said that, let me read your comments. Someone said, good evening, Aisha and Mr. X. Rowley Jr. is speaking the truth. Hey, Miss Lady. You want me to give you the lawyer number? Do you want the lawyer information so you could send your fax there? Yeah. Well, it does real stress me out, you know. So the live is back up. Let me apologize for the break in the live a short while ago.
Yes. Apologies to UK in particular.
Yeah, because I got a message from the UK saying, you know, it's talk show all you're doing. Why all you cut the live? Yeah. So to the people in the UK that is listening, please we apologize as you get in this time. Refresh your page, join the live, share the live, all right? We already had a couple shares on the last live. We want to get it back up there and get the numbers back in. Okay. Balance preferred the name of the show. Yes, well done. Thank you so much. Yes, I know we have a guest in this hour. Guide me.
I'm ready to call and get in touch with her. She is ready for our call and waiting.
All right, so do you want to do that now? I think we dealt at length with the $3 in the Treasury story.
Yes, the 3 days, yeah.
3 days with the money in the Treasury story. We can safely put that to rest. So we can get our guests in and start the conversation, can we?
Yes, we can. Let's get the phone call up and running. Let me get the number. Antonia. Here we go.
All right, let's go.
Plug it in.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the Street 919 FM. Ladies and gentlemen, listeners, we are going to be chatting live with Antonia De Freitas, the president of Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association. President of TUTA, Antonia De Freitas, joins us this morning.
And she's the first female
That's right, the
president
first
of TUTA.
female president of TUTA.
So I want to say congratulations to you for such a prestigious honor. And, you know, I wish you success within your tenure.
Thank you very much, Aisha. Good afternoon, Vern. Good afternoon to your listeners.
Thank you so much for taking our call.
So, yeah, I think it's really, of course, very fitting. After the announcement yesterday that SEA will be held on the 20th of August, I think a lot of parents, a lot of teachers, a lot of persons in the country, are very interested to hear about this development. And they know that children have to go to school from the 20th of July for standard 5 pupils. I think a lot of people got it confused and thought primary schools are open from the 20th of July, but that's just for standard 5 pupils. Could you give us a broad overview on TUTA's position on the 20th of August date and the 20th of July return to school, especially considering that teachers have to come back out to support?
Not a problem. The General Council of TUTA had a number of emergency meetings during the holidays to discuss the whole issue of this emergency remote learning process that we have been involved in for the last few months, as well as projections that the Ministry of Education was making about examination dates and projected reopening of schools. So you would have heard our positions on the hosting of the CXC examinations, for example. When tutor met with the Minister of Education during a virtual meeting, the minister and his team proposed the date for October, a date in October for the SCA, because at that time, Minister Garcia stated having the SCA 4 to 6 weeks after reopening of school in September would give the students enough time to readjust to school life, would give the students enough time to interact with their teachers and be in a state of preparedness for the examinations. And it would have also allowed enough time for health and safety protocols to be instituted in schools, for proper cleaning of schools and the school maintenance to take place during the July-August period, as would usually happen. The General Council of Tutor agreed wholeheartedly with that proposal because, as we acknowledged, during the emergency remote learning and teaching process, not all students would have been engaged. We had difficulty with access to devices, access to proper connectivity, children having different issues, parents having issues, and so forth. So in the view of the General Council and teachers across the nation, we believed that there was a level of inequity that would arise or be exacerbated, rather, should there be any rush to do the examinations before October. Now that the minister has gone ahead and proposed the date of SCA, we are even more concerned. On the one hand, simply because we realize that whilst the Minister of Education was willing to listen to what tutor had to say, other agencies of the state were not. The Minister of Finance and an inter-ministerial committee had discussions with tutor and other stakeholders some time ago. Tutor maintained its position of the October SCA date. Subsequently, earlier this week, the Minister of Finance had another meeting with tutor officers, all tutor officers, and that financial incentive that was presented was proposed to tutor. The information was taken to the General Council. The General Council met an emergency session on Tuesday of this week, and the General Council rejected that proposal outright. At no point in time did tutors seek to negotiate or ask for compensation for teachers coming out, because at no point in time did we envisage that teachers will be going to schools any time before September to prepare SCA students. It means, therefore, the concerns that we have about inequity and the lack of quality education, the concerns that we have about student motivation, student readiness, those concerns have been heightened. It means also we are really doubtful now that the Ministry of Education and other stakeholders would be able to put in place the necessary protocols and infrastructure to safeguard anybody returning to school before September. As was mentioned, July, August is when you do your remediation work, your repair work, and even then we know that in September some schools are still not ready for reopening. What is going to happen when you have workers, teachers, students on the compound from July 20th to August 20th? Does it mean that we will have no vacation repair program this year? What is going to happen when we have to look at the issue of physical distancing of students? In some schools, you might have an SCA class, 3 classes with a total of 75 students. In other schools, you might have as many as 120, 130 SCA students. And these would be supervised or taught by 3 to 4 standard 5 teachers. When you look at the issue of social distancing, physical distancing, one, remember your days in primary school. You sat on a bench with what? 2 or maybe 3 students. We still have many of those benches. That's still the kind of furniture in many of our public schools. How are we supposed to spread out children physically during this period that's projected, if that's the kind of seating arrangement we have. If we do manage to spread our children, what is going to be the challenge in terms of supervision, adequate supervision of all of those students across the length and the breadth of the school compound? We do not believe, Aisha, that the government has thought these things out properly. But you know what other point I want to make? There are many people who are bashing tutor about the payment of the stipend.
About the stipends, yes.
As if it's tutor proposed it. Tutor did not propose that. What we have is a judgment from the Special Tribunal in 1985, which says that if teachers are to come out from their vacation to work, they are to be paid. But since we didn't discuss that, that is a moot point for us. We do not believe that dangling that kind of inducement to divide and rule teachers, to divide and conquer teachers, is going to serve this education system any good. We do not believe as tutor that the attempt to sway teachers on public support, build some public distrust of teachers is going to serve any good. Our teachers are strong. Our teachers know that this is a time and season when all sorts of things could happen. And we will continue to be resolute. You know, I saw an article this morning that says the government, the ministry has broken the back of tutor. No, tutor has not been broken. Tutor will continue to stand up and speak about the children, because throughout this, we have maintained it's about the children. Are we prepared as a nation to deal with the repercussions of not all of these children having the measure of success that they are entitled to have? Are we prepared to deal with that level of inequity? We talk about, as a country, moving towards the Sustainable Development Goals 2030 of the United Nations. Those things are proudly espoused in our Vision 2030 strategy. A key element of those Sustainable Development Goals is the goal of quality and equitable education for all boys and girls at the secondary and primary levels. So what we are saying here is that you ignore the stakeholders who have the evidence, who have the experience, you ignore the children themselves, and you put other agendas and other sectoral interests ahead of the welfare of children and expect that teachers will support that. We don't think so. So tutor stands firm. We will do what we have to do. Our members will do what they need to do to demonstrate that this is not right.
Saying that makes me think that, is there going to be some sort of action on the part of the teachers going
the General
forward?
Council of Tutor will have to determine what action takes place in the next few weeks. I cannot determine that. I don't have that power. The General Council of Tutor will have to determine that action. But I want to say this. We are 1 week away from Labor Day. We have seen time and time again where states have tried to bend unions. States have tried, as I said, the divide and conquer strategy. Dangled a carrot here while disenfranchising another group there. At this point in time, when our country has to recover from the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, we should be looking towards a tripartite arrangement, working collaboratively as labor, as employer, corporate, and as state. We're not having that. So we have to wonder, is the government of Trinidad and Tobago really serious about all sectors of the country recovering from the impact of COVID? Why is education an afterthought? Why is it education is the pawn in this whole process?
I'd like to find out from you what are some of the recommendations or solutions to going forward post-COVID with our education system.
One, we as teachers from the 16th of March to now, we used our initiative and we sought to engage students remotely. That is emergency remote teaching. Is an ad hoc mechanism. There are people who have been saying during this period, oh, we are engaged in e-learning. Online learning, e-learning is a systematic and planned approach. So one of our primary recommendations is that we build a robust system for use of education technology in all our schools, from ECCE to secondary and tertiary. That will require a level of consultation and collaboration. That will require curriculum adjustment for delivery in virtual environments. It will require quite a bit of planning, and investment, so that, God forbid, anything happens like this again, our country will be better prepared to continue with the education of our nation's children.
I want to say as well, I came across an article in Jamaica Gleaner that Jamaica's education system has gone in that direction. In fact, they are getting ready to distribute over 40,000 equipped tablets, laptops.
It'll be 100,000 when they finish.
100,000 when they finish. They start in phases to make sure that they are prepared for this type of arrangement.
There are some secondary schools in Jamaica. One of my colleagues indicated, as the principal of a top-performing secondary school, it took her and her staff almost 3 years to integrate that technology into the school's operations. But now the entire school, from 1 to 6, they are fully online. That is e-learning at its best. And we have to get to that point. You talk about the distribution of tablets. You know, we heard tutor called for, in the early days of this closure, tutor called for distribution of devices, tutor called for partnering with stakeholders to provide internet access. If we were to do a check and see how much of that has really been done, how many laptops have been distributed to students in need at primary and secondary by the government? How many connections have been made to allow homes to have the children use the internet for reaching out to their teachers? Have we checked on that to see how successful that projection was, whether it was done at all? These are some of the things that we recognize challenge us today. Going forward, connectivity has to be an issue. Would you believe that in some of our schools, the laptops and the devices that they have still run on Microsoft 2017?
I would believe you.
Can that be?
No.
In my own school, the units are obsolete, and we have not had any replacement.
So
how can we expect?
And that's an interesting point, Edria, because that was my next place to go to. I know that let's go back to the JSC a couple of weeks ago, where you were present. With the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education. 2 points I want you to clarify from that. I think he said 68,000 students, based on their initial reports, do not have devices, as well as 28,000 do not have access to Wi-Fi or internet connectivity.
Correct.
All right. So I just want to make sure I didn't hear incorrectly, because the minister did say yesterday that there were no 90,000 students being disadvantaged. Because
tutor never put a figure like that in the public domain. I'm not sure where that came from.
It was from a media report, and I think the media report just simply added 68 and 28, which is 96.
And came up with the figure.
Which is 96. So they may not have said that some of the 28 is from the 68 kind of thing.
Yes,
but ideally, for that figure to exist, I would say even if 60,000 students are without devices, that would be a challenge. However, my device question really goes to the teachers. At that same Joint Select Committee, you all were discussing distributing machines or devices to teachers. Has that happened, and have you all come up with the way to go about it? Because your point was you all need to have the proper contracts in place so that these devices are distributed in the right way, and people who are responsible for them get the right paperwork in place. Has that been done to date? And
yes, the contracts were adjusted. Tutor made some recommendations to have the contracts adjusted. The ministry accepted the recommendations, so the contracts were adjusted. But here what? That distribution only started this week.
Oh, only this week.
Only this week.
And that was 3 Fridays ago. You all had that Joint Select Committee meeting.
Now we are presuming. Remember, it's a voluntary thing. It's the teachers who still have to engage. When you have that distribution this week and you take possession of that device, the teacher may now have the device. It still doesn't mean the teacher has the capacity to reach all of the students if all of the students don't have devices or are connected.
Yeah, that follows.
That follows, correct.
So where I want us to, and that situation has no easy fix aside from an investment or somebody coming forward, and we are not seeing that happening in the thing. I'll ask you a final question on
Before you ask her the final question, I want to find
So
out
this
from...
is the final question.
that.
No.
Just on that issue.
Yeah, because there's so much of thoughts running through my head while you're talking. You know,
Yeah.
we understand that children are going up into the grade, the higher grade.
Yeah.
Or the higher term.
They've
I'm not
been
sure what
promoted. They're going to the next
they're going
standard
to the
or
next
form.
standard or form. Sorry
Right.
for using the term grade. My son goes to
Yeah,
private school,
That's-
so
that's
grade
okay,
is what
that's
they use.
Yes.
But there are children who probably would have not been involved in learning for the past few months. Probably going to be 6 months by the time September is
It
open.
is 6 months currently, as far as I see, if you think in September.
Are we going to put these children ahead, knowing that they would have missed 6 months worth of learning? That's one. And two, what about the parents who would have purchased books for the term and are now being asked to purchase a new set of books going forward? Have you received any word from parents as it relates to these things?
Well, in discussion with some of the parents across the country, I know those are two of the major concerns. I would not want to pronounce on the purchase of books and use of books, and so that is something that the ministry has to clarify. And you would realize, whilst it was just stated, this is what should happen, one does not get the impression that there is a clear plan to develop that idea. We have not been treated to any information on that yet. So apparently it's still in the birthing stages. But as to the issue...
Just one second, Mrs. De Freitas. What you're saying is still in the birthing stages, whether they're going to be promoted or not?
Well, how the mechanism to use for promotion and when that will be done.
But is it that you all have a clear indication that students will be promoted in September? Or
Well, that's what I'm saying. The minister indicated that in the press release.
in the press conference, yeah?
In the press conference. But based on the reality facing principals and teachers, that is not just as easy as simply saying everybody will go. And it brings us to the question, or the other part of the question that you have asked about the children who have been facing challenges. And even those children who face challenges pre-COVID, before the COVID closures, are we just going to send them forward alone? We realize that there would have been no assessments done at the end of the term. The term was essentially abolished. And this brings me to the point of tutor calling for, during the period until the end of the year and perhaps into next year, calling for an adjustment to the amount of work that students do at different levels, one, and two, how we assess our students moving away from the end of term and perhaps doing continuous assessments throughout the term, where we can judge the student as opposed to what just has been done. Now, as for the students who need extra support, there has to be a proper plan at the ministry level and then at the school level to assist these students, because that plan must be one that will include remediation and reinforcement of work that has to be done. Reinforcement being, okay, I'm going it over just to make sure that you understand it.
Yeah.
Remediation meaning that there are corrective mechanisms that need to be taken because there's a deeper problem. And that will require support of other education professionals, such as school social workers, guidance officers, and so forth. We are not sure that that plan has been fully developed yet. And this is why, in calling for the examination to be done in October, tutor has also made the point that there is need for comprehensive psychosocial support to all of our students. Our teachers need support as well, and we've been trying to do that by having them engage with the EAP. But you know something? If I go to give you some of the anecdotal reports, there is a teacher who related to me that in the secondary school, she was able to connect with most of her students. Good? And all of a sudden, one of their students, who was a top performer, stopped interacting in the class. When she eventually got on to the student and the family, the boy's mother is a nurse who at the time was attached to the Couva facility. And so he was having severe anxiety and panic attacks because he was more worried about what would happen to his mother and his family than any exam that he was supposed to be preparing for. And then, of course, there's the other situation of a little girl who told her peers via the WhatsApp message that she wasn't coming to class today because she was going to kill herself. And the peers had the presence of mind to report it to the teacher, who called the vice principal, and the two of them frantically broke the public health regulations and raced to the child's home. And by the time they got to the parents knew nothing, and they reached that girl just in the nick of time. These are some of the realities our children have been facing. Would it be fair to just say, okay, child, move from one level to another without any kind of support? We think not. And this is why we talk about the inequity in the system. That has always existed, and it's not going to change overnight, but it's going to be exacerbated now. And that is our concern. So we believe that, as you're talking about recommendations, having that systematic program from remediation, psychosocial support, and reinforcement at both ministry and school levels is important going forward.
So do you think then that those same systems or something similar or parts of those need to be extended to teachers? Because it's concerning to me that if my child did not get, I would say, over 30, nearly 40% of the term of work, this year of work, because it's one entire term, and a month out of that second term, I believe, is the loss. Having considered they lost that and they're moving forward, if they are moving forward, and if it makes sense, does this mean that the teachers need to do more teaching to bring them up to scratch to where they should be? Because I'm moving out of Form 1 into Form 2. 4 months of the syllabus missing would need to be captured in that first month.
We have about 59 seconds before the break. It's usually about 5 minutes long. Can we call you directly after the break to continue this conversation?
Not a problem, and we'll pick up on that question.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mr. Freitas.
All right.
So Trinidad and Tobago, we will be right back. We're going to go for this break, and we will come back with the interview. I want to thank those of you who are on our live. Let me say good afternoon to you. I'll read some of your comments and when questions. We get back in as well. So we'll take some calls.
Sherry Live.
As well. Sherry Live.
Talk. You talk. Come talk with us. On the street. 919 FM. This Saturday on Iwer Stage.
Yo, what up, friends? It's your boy Stargram here. And you see, this coming Saturday, the 15th of June, it's all about yours truly, Ahmed Stargram, heading down to Iwer Stage. Yes, Iwer Stage for the first time ever Chutney Clash. You heard it, the first time ever Chutney Clash. Iwer Stage, that's this coming Saturday, the 13th of June. I'm going to be singing against my sister in the business, Kavita Rampis, the Chutney Empress. So we're going to be live from 8 p.m. on Facebook, Shoot 919 FM and 101.7 Facebook page. You all keep it locked, don't you miss it, this coming Saturday from 8 p.m. Yours truly, Instagram, Kavita Rampis. See you.
Hey guys, this is Igil Kavita Ramkisoon, your Chutney Empress, and on Saturday, June 13th, I am coming to Iwer Stage on 919. We're having something called a Chutney Clash. And guess who I'm up against? Ahmed Stargram. That's my boy, you know. But you see, Saturday is no mercy. We starting at 8, so don't be late. It's 2 Chutney Soca finalists ripping it up on one stage. The vibe's real nice. Don't miss it, you know.
Streaming live on Instagram at Iwer George, Facebook Neil Iwer George, and YouTube Iwer TV. It's Iwer Stage.
Sanitized? Check. COVID-free? Check. At New City Mall, check out our grand selection of high-quality clothing and accessories from men and women. Save on all items with competitive prices and courteous service throughout the entire mall. New City Mall is located in the heart of Port of Spain with entrances at number 3 Charlotte Street and 41 Independence Square. We offer a variety of shirts, long and short sleeve, round and V-neck tops, vests, caps, hats, sunglasses, briefs, boxers, shorts, swim trunks, denim jeans, long and 3/4, socks, sneakers, casual and athletic, shoes, dressy and fashionable. dresses, formal and casual, short sets, skirts, lingerie, undergarments, and a wide range of accessories. Come check us out, as we also have clothing and accessories in the following brands: Levi's, Clarks, Dream USA, Armani Exchange, Hollister, American Eagle, Ralph Lauren, Truckfit, Nautica, Nike Air Force and Air Max, Puma, Adidas, Timberland, Huarache, Academics, Aeropostale, Old Navy, Forever 21, Hanes, Dockers, Guess, Converse, and much more. And if you want to get a new look, we have barbers, hairstylists, weave hair, and wigs on sale. New City Mall. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram. Opening hours are Monday to Thursday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Friday and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Enagic change your water, change your life. Enagic water purifier, one machine, 5 types of water. Enagic makes strong Kangen water with an 11.5 pH. Kangen water with 8.5 to 9.5 pH, healthy drinking and cooking water. Clean water with 7.0 pH. Beauty water for skin, hair, and plants with a 6.0 pH. Strong acid water with a 2.5 pH. This water is known to disinfect, kill viruses and bacteria. Listen to the Street 919 FM with Pastor Alkaline John every Tuesday from 11:05 a.m. to noon and every Wednesday from 8:05 p.m. to 9 p.m. as he talks to you weekly about how to improve your quality of life through purifying and drinking water. For more information, call or WhatsApp Pastor John at 516-286-7079.
A bacon shark at Maracas Beach is truly an experience. Now get the same exquisite taste of the beach in the heart of town. Richard's Bacon Shark from Maracas to the city. 7 Western Main Road, St. James. Curbside pickup and delivery is available. To order, call 488-BAKE. That's 488-2253 or 75-SHARK, 757-4275. Richard's Bacon Shark from Maracas to the city. The taste you know and love is just a little closer.
Yo, this is a Big Mike, not the mass man, the health man. Are you one of the 40 million people suffering with joint issues like rheumatoid arthritis or osteoarthritis? Well, you are listening to the right ad. You have the ailment, we have the remedy. Call us now on 288-8301 or 346-2612.
Don't forget to tune in right here on the Street 919 FM every Wednesday from 10:05 a.m.
Performance, beat all talk.
It's 4 o'clock in the morning, the time I wake up every single day. I put on my jumper and boots. I do not have school clothes and shoes because I have to work in my parents' garden. I do not go to school. I only have 13 years, but my mommy and daddy say I have to work so we can eat. I have to pick lettuce, feed the goats and cows, and then help sell in the market until it gets dark. My back does hurt me from bending and toting water and animal feed, but I have to help my mommy and daddy. Today is my friend Bobby's birthday party, and I can't go because I have to work. I want to play games, eat cake and ice cream too. I wish I do not have to work so I can go to school and get time to play like all my friends do.
Children below the age of 16 should not be taken out of school or deprived of a childhood for the purpose of work. Child labor is a serious offense. Any parent or employer engaged in this activity could be fined and face imprisonment. Spot child labor. Stop child labor now. For more information, please contact the Labor Inspectorate Unit at 299-0300 option 3. A message from the Ministry of Labor and Small Enterprise Development.
Sharing your goals, helping you find your place in the world. Eastern Gratitude, holding your hand, leading the way, here for your needs, making sure that you succeed. Eastern's lending a hand. Eastern, together, we're leading the way.
Are you looking for a home care aide for an elderly parent? Maybe you're looking for a nanny or babysitter for your children. Are you looking for a housekeeper or cleaner for your home or office? Then Helping Hands Home Care is the place for you. We provide qualified home care aid, nannies, babysitters, housekeepers, and cleaners at reasonable prices. We work so you don't have to. Just send us your budget and schedule and we'll make it happen. Are you trained in home care? Do you have experience in caring for the elderly, disabled, or children? Or maybe you want to earn extra money cleaning homes and offices? Then be part of our team. We want you. Contact us today, WhatsApp or call 4838741 to sign up. We are Helping Hands Home Care. Helping Hands Home Care. The home is where the heart is.
Every child is incredibly intelligent. Parents, reach higher. Be stronger. Join Olive Rez Clark, producer of the IBG line of educational products, right here every Thursday morning at 11:15. Get the genius out of the children. Hear how you can work with the IBG phonic program and see your children learn at least 200 times faster. Remember, IBG guarantees rapid progress for champions to turn this nation around. It's right here on 91.9 FM every Thursday morning at 11:15. For more info, call 336-3896 or 725-READ.
Come talk with us. Real serious. Hard talk. Real talk on the street. 919 FM.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We are back.
Welcome back to The Balance, everybody. We're keeping it real.
And we have, again, Misty Freitas on the line. Thank you for joining us once again.
First female president of Tutor. And I would like to say, I would think maybe it's I paying a little bit more attention, but I think you're one of the more vocal presidents
yes,
of Tutor.
It's a woman thing. Let me say it that way.
It's a woman thing.
Yep.
Make a nuisance of yourself until they get your way.
Ladies.
Exactly.
Ladies.
I'm really happy that you're taking time out of your holiday to talk with us. I know you had a point where you left off at so I want to allow you to continue make that point before I, of course, ask you a question.
That Vern asked about the issue of, well, to use our layman's term, catching up with the work. I think we need to, as a society, as citizens, to get ourselves thinking outside of the box. And we need to look at two things. One, the idea of school terms has been disrupted because of this pandemic. And so it brings us to the point where we need to start looking at education from the perspective of educating the child as opposed to simply delivering the curriculum. Because our teachers across Trinidad and Tobago, our educators at all levels, are quite competent at delivering the curriculum and engaging children, whatever circumstances they find themselves in. But once we lose sight of the fact that at the end of the day, success is relative to each child, and therefore we have to focus on child, we have to make the education student-centered, learner-centered, then we are going in the direction of understanding that, as I mentioned earlier, we may not necessarily need to rely on these high-stakes assessments all the time. There will be other mechanisms we could sit down and collaborate on and devise to have students move upwards within the system and transition from one level to another. So when we talk about catching up with the work and you've lost this term of work and this amount of work, I understand it's a reality for many of us. But as educators operating in the 21st century, we are student-focused. It's learner-centered, therefore we focus on dealing with the child. So we work with what is the child is able to accomplish, and that is where we need to go. That is where we will be going when we reopen.
Awesome. I also want to find out, have any discussions been had with the ministry or probably the Minister of Health and the schools, seeing that social distancing is limited to number 5 or in some cases 10? Are the classrooms going to be smaller? Are there going to be extra classrooms to accommodate the overload of children, you know?
Or will you be having classes in the hall?
You are presuming, sir, that all schools have halls.
Well, yes. Sorry, it's true. Rosary Boys didn't really have a hall.
This is the thing, we tend to forget the realities that some of us face across Trinidad and Tobago. Many of our primary schools do not have halls, as we think about it, as we think about what we see in the secondary schools.
Yeah.
Some of them operate in spaces that are probably just as big as our houses, as our homes. And so the issue of physical distancing, the point I was making earlier about spreading out the children and therefore the supervision, how is that going to be possible? Even as restrictions are lifted and the country reopens on a phased basis, what are the projections for school? Tutor has asked the ministry to ensure that the Ministry of Health, we have asked the Ministry of Education, to ensure that the Ministry of Health gives proper guidelines which are specific for the reopening of schools. So how do we do social distancing when you have a school with 485 students? We may very well have to look at, as some people put it loosely, a shift system. Some come at different times. We may have to look at a system of rotation, or we may have to use a blended approach where some of us are physically on the school compound and some of us are learning remotely because we now have a robust online learning system. These are things that we have started discussion with the Ministry of Education on, and we will continue the discussion, but we can't do it alone. We need to have the denominational boards involved. We need to have the parents as stakeholders, the principals associations. So there needs to be a coming together of all the stakeholders in the education system to plan the way forward, and we wait on that anxiously.
Well, we have a break that's coming up. It's a minute or so. It's a segment that we have every afternoon. I'm going to keep you on the line while we do that. As we head towards that, bear in mind, the next question I'm going to ask is there going to be a constant cleaning crew on site at schools? You know, children make mess, you know.
But just in general sanitation now in COVID time,
yeah,
there will have to be constant sanitation.
Is that part of the planning as well?
And whose responsibility will that fall directly under?
I'm going to leave it there. We have 30 seconds before the sponsorship, and we'll be right back.
This is Street Sense. Positive, anecdotal, and relevant.
Street Sense is brought to you by Be Mobile. Life is on.
Over the past few months, life as we know it has changed. We continue to discover new things, how to unmask creativity, and how to quarantine our differences. We're attending concerts from our bedrooms, giving the earth a vacation and learning beyond the classroom. As we journey through this together, let's never forget all the reasons to keep believing things will get better. Be connected, be positive, be mobile.
Compassion, tolerance, forgiveness, and a sense of self-discipline are qualities that help us lead our daily lives with a calm mind. The Dalai Lama. That was Street Sense. Pick sense from nonsense.
Street Sense is brought to you by Be Mobile. Life is on.
Over the past few months, life as we know it has changed. We continue to discover new things, how to unmask creativity, and how to quarantine our differences. We're attending concerts from our bedrooms, giving the earth a vacation and learning beyond the classroom. As we journey through this together, let's never forget all the reasons to keep believing things will get better. Be connected, be positive, be mobile.
All right, we are back. Mr. Freitas?
Yes, there.
Yes, we're
Just
back.
a breath of positivity in between is nice.
Definitely, and we need that right now. And you know, I want to take this opportunity to say God bless all of our education professionals, from those at ECCE, primary, secondary, tertiary, guidance officers, school social workers, members of student support services, principals, curriculum officers, school supervisors. God bless all of you and thank you. And I could say that because I'm the president of Tutor. I ain't afraid nothing. You know, somebody said this woman president is the worst thing to happen to Tutor. She always complaining. But is it that we are afraid now of the hard truths that are coming to the front? Is it that things that we took for granted all the time and they are being exposed as requiring certain amounts of attention now, we really realize it's not what we thought it was? You asked about the issue of cleaning. Let's look at the issue of school infrastructure. When was it? Well, I mean, Aisha, you said your child goes to a private school, so
Yes.
this might be a moot point for you. When was the last time you walked into a school's bathroom?
Well,
For bazaar in December.
yeah, I would say around.
Yeah, and I'm sure, well, like I said, it might be a moot point for you, but we have certain levels of disrepair, and I would not say neglect, because our principals try their best,
Yeah.
right? They do their fundraisers, the denominational boards try their best, but the state still has a responsibility. And so when we have situations where you don't have toilets working properly, you don't have sewers, sewer systems effectively disposing of waste and so forth, what happens now as we reopen after COVID and you have to repopulate schools without any remedial work or without any repair work being done? In some instances, you have either the MTS employed at secondary schools, the MTS cleaners, or at primary, you probably have individuals employed. Sometimes these people do not receive their salaries on time. In many instances, they work without PPE. Who is going to provide the PPE? Are we going to provide them with the adequate cleaning agents? A number of primary schools have issues accessing funding outside of COVID to run their schools. We believe as principals, as educators, as teachers, that the state should be providing us with those resources at this point in time. One of the questions I asked a healthcare professional about is sanitization, because it's a concern for us. We are told that you have to sanitize your hard surfaces regularly, right?
Yeah.
So the question was, how do you do that when you have children on the compound consistently? So basically, you will sanitize, use the disinfectant and the bleach at the end of the day, and you will leave it to dry, and you will wipe it down in the morning when you start school. And that means, therefore, that we need to have additional cleaners on the compound to get that done before school starts. And you now have to look at the working hours of those cleaning staff, of that cohort of persons in the school, right? Similarly with security officers, health and safety officers. You know what? There's another issue that's aligned to the cleaning of schools, and that is the issue of screening. The minister mentioned the issue of screening of students. Now, we will always advocate that if a student is ill, keep the student home, right? Don't send the child to school sick. But because there's nobody at home to babysit, you send the child to school.
Right.
And you send the child with Panadol. You send the child with the tissues. You send the child with the cough syrup for the teacher to give the child the cough syrup. If the child has diarrhea, you put the toilet roll and the extra underwear in the bag, and just in case the teacher has to clean the child. You do all of these things. All of these things are done, and teachers have to deal with it. But in this instance, shouldn't we have the competent Ministry of Health personnel on the compound to do the screening as persons re-enter schools at whatever time? And it brings us to the point of, if a child does come to do any of the exams, either SCA or any of the CXC exams, and that child presents with particular symptoms, who has the authority to turn the child back and tell the child you can't enter the exam room? What is going to happen with that child? These are things that we need to have firm statements on from the Ministry of Health and from the Ministry of Education. We can't just rush into repopulating schools and preparing for exams without all of these prerequisites in place. And again, this is why tutor maintains the position that we should have the exam done in October instead of August.
Mr. Freitas, I wanted to also take a look at a couple of things. Now, this is the balance, so I'm making sure to give each side a particular amount of latitude. Some parents have said, and they've come out in a real, I'll say kind of real ferocious way on my Facebook and different things, and saying, why teachers have to get this stipend? Why they didn't say no, they didn't want the stipend? Or, could you give some insight in terms, because I think you said in the beginning that you all rejected the proposal that included that particular financial aspect.
Correct. Right? So tutor never approached the Ministry of Education or the Ministry of Finance or that interministerial committee. Tutor never approached asking for a stipend or for payment because, as I said, we never envisaged persons coming out having to go out during the vacation. And we still do not believe that teachers will be going out during the vacation period.
Okay,
right?
That's interesting. Again,
So we never
you're saying that and we're hearing something else, so I wait to see how this plays out. We have a minute before the break.
Divide and rule, like I said, divide and rule during the season can be seen to be an effective strategy to achieve certain issues. But we have negotiations, we have payment of increments outstanding, we have arrears to be paid to teachers, we have upgrade of teachers who would have graduated from UTT and USC, we have payment of superannuation benefits, things that still need to be paid over the course of the year in a timely manner.
Wow.
And all that is bypassed to dangle this carrot, this sweetener, simply because they are trying to divide
Interesting,
and rule.
Mr. Freitas. You know you're going to get some opposition for what you're saying. I'm just saying.
Don't get me started on that.
Well, we have a minute before the break.
Out of time, basically.
Closing comments.
Closing comments. Trinidad and Tobago don't bash the teachers. Many of us would not be where we are without our teachers. Our teachers are integral to national development. We stand firm in our position, in our view, that the SCA will be better placed in October to ensure that all students across Trinidad and Tobago have an equal opportunity at success. We will continue to do what we have to do to support our teachers and to support our students.
Thank you so much for sharing. Leave it there. We'll talk with you again soon. Thank you.
Not a problem.
Have a good evening.
Enjoy your afternoon. You too. Bye.
We would.
Bye-bye.
All right, so people, we're going to take that break. And when we come back, we take your call. She had a mouthful to say. We're going to elaborate on some of what she has said when we return.
Talk your talk, but we know talk. Come talk with us.
The Street.
919 FM. This Saturday on Iwer Stage.
Yo, what up, friends? It's your boy Stargram here, and you see this coming Saturday, the 15th of June. It's all about yours truly, Ahmed Stargram, heading down to Iwer Stage. Yes, Iwer Stage for the first time ever Chutney Clash. You heard it, the first time ever Chutney Clash. Iwer Stage, that's this coming Saturday, the 13th of June. I'm going to be singing against my sister in the business, Kavita Ramkisun, the Chutney Empress. So we're going to be live from 8 p.m. on Facebook, Street 919 FM and 101.7 Facebook page. You all keep it locked. Don't you miss it. This coming Saturday from 8 p.m. Yours truly, Instagram, Kavita Ramkisun. See you.
Hey guys, this is Kavita Ramkisun, your Chutney Empress, and on Saturday, June 13th, I am coming to Iwer Stage on 919. We're having something called a Chutney Clash. And guess who I'm up against? Ahmed Stargram. That's my boy, you know. But you see, Saturday is no mercy. We starting at 8, so don't be late. It's 2 Chutney Soca finalists ripping it up on one stage. The vibe's real nice. Don't miss it, you know.
Streaming live on Instagram at Iwer George, Facebook Neil Iwer George, and YouTube Iwer TV. It's Iwer Stage.
Get
Get interactive with the Street 919 FM.
All day, every day. See us all live on our Facebook page.
Share and comment on our show.
Like our page.
Chat with our live on-air announcers.
The Street 919's Facebook page.
Live and interactive all day, every day. The Street 919 FM.
Come talk with us.
Eastside Plaza has been sanitized. Eastside Plaza is COVID-19 free. The deals are at Eastside Plaza daily in the heart of Port of Spain. Eastside Plaza is located at number 32 Charlotte Street in Chinatown. It's a sale on everything at all stores at Eastside Plaza. Opening hours are from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Everything from foodstuff, lunches, pottery, African wear, gift items, tailor services, hair salon services, and much more. Everything means everything. Head into Port of Spain and check out Eastside Plaza, number 32 Charlotte Street in Chinatown. Follow Eastside Plaza on Facebook.
Better vision for your physical eyes, and through the eyes of faith, let healing arise in your mind, body, and spirit. At Natural Heal Ministries, we teach kingdom principles for living that brings the blessing of God to your mind, body, and soul.
NHM Professional Associates are located at number 10 Moody Stewart Street, Monrepos, San Fernando. For more info, contact Dr. Desmond Phillip at NHM on 349-3494.
NHM Professional Associates can be heard live on the Street 919 FM every Saturday from 9:05 to 9:55 a.m. When it comes to healthcare, you deserve the best. Do you suffer from low energy, anxiety, or constipation? Health and Wealth Lifestyle with Nicole Huggins provides you with the best services of iridology exam, blood analysis, ionic foot detox, followed by a soothing foot massage. We also provide the best organic supplements. We are located at number 73 Eastern Main Road, Barataria. Or call us at 288-1108 or 275-8359. Join us on the Street 919 FM every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. for Health and Wealth Lifestyle with Nicole Huggins.
Talk your talk, but we know talk. Come talk with us. The Street 919 FM.
Papa, this thing look like it's sticky a little bit, eh?
I did not expect that at all, though, eh?
Just look like it going and be passa going down the road here. So, meanwhile, the minister is confidently telling us the date of the CSEC exam, and teachers are going to be out from July the 20th to prep students.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the tutor president on the next hand saying no teacher will be out during any holiday.
Vacation period.
Vacation period. And before you dangle any carrot,
settle up the outstanding.
This, and that needs to be paid. It looked like Bacchanal down the road here.
Because, and the way the president put it across, it really seems, it bring it into a different light. Because I wondering now, but yes, it's true. And I saw a couple teachers mention, I saw one teacher's post that had it really well laid out. And it said, what about these gratuity payments? What about increases that people have been paid since 19 oh long, since 2000 something, they didn't get the mandatory increase or change or something, promotions not happening. And
what caught me as well with this lengthy conversation we had with is the fact that no real briefing was done with the teachers as to how to deal with the post-COVID school term. The social distancing, the cleaning, the this, the that. It seems like no consultations was done.
I'm not surprised.
Really? You just be at these press conferences, so you would know.
Yeah, because I've seen a particular stance from many ministers, and maybe not only PNM ministers, but other ministers in past governments, where they are in the position and they operate within a little bubble sometimes and don't bring in people. And I know it's not always easy to bring this all-inclusive conversation, but certain things need it. And having SEA in August and having teachers come back out in July, it's necessary for you to really have a conversation, not an instruction.
I'm going to open the lines and take your calls. I know a lot of you parents want to get in here. Papa, let's see who's there. Caller, you live.
Hi, good evening, Aisha.
Hey, how
good
you
evening,
doing?
X.
Good evening.
I just want to say something. I overheard the Minister of Education calling out the money or the salaries that the teachers would be getting, right? If I gather, the principal is almost like $900 a day, $900, and then it's from 500, 600 for the teachers. And when you work out that could be close to almost 20,000 or so a month. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know, but I find, okay, if there, as it is, problems, the union leader of tutor, she has nothing positive or affirmative to say about the government, and it was kind of sounding, in my view, a little political, because when she comes to say about divide and rule, it was a very political point statement. So this is just my honest opinion. Because nothing affirmative was a positive, even though with that kind of price the teachers are getting. I might be wrong and I stand corrected. Thank you.
Thank you so much, bro. Thanks for your opinion. Caller, you're live. Hello? It's not that one, it's this one.
Aisha.
Yes, caller.
Good day to you, Aisha. Good day to you, Mr.
Hi.
Hi, Paul.
Hi, Aisha, let me tell you something, right? I think it was a bad decision, first and foremost, because we are in a pandemic situation where COVID-19 is concerned. And even though some children would have been set back, I think the better decision to make right now, and I know it's not only Trinidad and Tobago, it's a Caribbean thing where CSEC is concerned, but in terms of the SCA, I think everything should have diverted to the following year, which is 2021. Let us straighten out our business in Trinidad and Tobago, but you know what? They want to conveniently use the teachers because they have a mandate. You understand? So they will pay them the little pittance. Right?
So are you agreeing with the unconfirmed call for teachers to boycott this August SCA?
Yes. I think that, yes, Aisha, I think the teachers should boycott it because that is their vacation, right? But you know why? People would continue to say certain things because of political entities and government support. But we need to be balanced. We need to understand, hey, teachers have... I'm not hearing you clearly.
Go ahead, we're hearing you.
Yeah, teachers have a life also. You understand? And that is their vacation period. We didn't ask for COVID to come on us. And as I am aware, COVID is a man-made situation, right? Okay. Look at what Protestant saying with Black Lives Matter, and you're not seeing the increase of COVID-19. You know why? Because to me, it is not realistic. And we are dealing with issues that we should be dealing with.
All right.
And people are getting... For instance, there's so much to discuss, but I'm tired of the situation. People need to be balanced. And I do the business what people have to say about me. Wrong is wrong and right is right. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, Aisha.
How are you?
Well, I'm positive, prosperous, financially strong, psychologically settled, and sociologically well-placed. And I always want that for my people. And I always tell our people straight, when the opportunity comes, where a profession could give you an extra $1, make sure you take the opportunity. Let me say it again to my people, Aisha. They give them a nice piece of money every day. Make sure you take that opportunity. And union, for once, don't fail the people by talking stupidness. Let me tell to the union again. Don't fool with people by saying stupidness. This is election time. An extra $1 come. Talk to our people when you get that money. And more just tell you, save it and invest it. Invest it. Invest it. Don't tell me about holiday when I could make my extra $1 and I still getting my salary. We always have to realize, our people, we have to realize when we get that money, we study what to do with it. Don't spend it bad. Do not eat and spit. Drink and urinate. Smoke a big weed. Pipe cocaine. Gamble with money. Waste time and talk stupidness. Unions, come this time and tell them your opportunity here. Grab your opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mover. So so much to take in that was said this afternoon.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
I think she also said that in a few days it will be confirmed what parents' opinions are as it relates to purchasing of new books for the school term. So I'm trying to find out, is there no communication between the Ministry of Education and tutor? Because she seems to be unaware or uninformed as to a lot of things that the minister was sure about at his press conference.
Yeah, because I think what she was alluding to is that, listen, these things have not been thought out well because there's not been a clear communication of how it will work, namely the promotion, namely sanitation. And those two areas, just to start with, those two are very, very critical. And these SCA students and people have been expressing concern that if my child go to school and some next child come and they somehow have the disease or virus or the COVID itself, you know what I mean? I know getting a message here that one teacher stopped doing her online classes Tuesday.
Why?
Because she only had 4 students, I guess, or she just feels like it's time to move into a vacation mode. She did what she could do.
So she gone on vacation?
She done with that.
Wow. Caller, you live?
I should always remind all people, opportunities come with emergency. Don't let them people with the tractor when they have opportunity, they have a flooding. A lot of them, they didn't clean it because they know emergencies. The way the opportunity, my tractor, my truck, my everything, and I make real money on it. And don't like sit down like how we people used to say, it's no money, it's there, and every time we to kill them stupid words. And we have to jealous the other people because they make use of opportunities in emergencies. And the government take the time, they make sure there are no COVID. Get up and make your money over people. Stop this stupidness. But it's nothing, and the union misguide you. Your union, call out your people and let them take care of making in the opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you again, Mover. So let me read your comments. Wendell McIntosh says the teachers are unreasonable. The explanation given by the minister to me makes sense, says Wendell McIntosh. All right. Legacy Guy says in times of war and extenuating circumstances, drastic measures are taken to stabilize the situation. Now we see who are dedicated workers in the times of crisis. Some entered the system just for a salary. They come in for the teachers. They come in for them.
Now they come. I mean, and that is one of the things that came out. I see people. That's why people said from in front. So how these teachers get in? Where the nurses and them? Why the teachers had to get that extra money? Why they getting paid the full salary and they getting extra money in the vacation? However, I couldn't even probe Ms. DeFreitas much on it because she was saying we never signed to that.
Yeah.
We never asked for that.
That's what she said. I don't know.
Wow.
We continue to take those messages. All right. Let me see who else is there.
And the calls are welcome at 342-0081, 342-0081 or 466-5391, 466-5391. Really anxious to hear from some parents.
Marcia Hayes Edward says, me being a teacher do not need my pupils to have a textbook to make my pupils learn. A good teacher is proactive. While Christine Edward Farrow says what they should do is continue where they left off, but start at January 21. It's an adjustment, just like everyone will have a setback in a year. So she is saying maybe they should resume school to make up for the 6 months, but start the new term
in January. Now, that was an initial proposal put forward by Minister Garcia months ago. And he said that, and we were like, is this the confirmed thing? What is bothering me the most is that we are taking so long as a country to come up with a definitive plan for education. It seems like if everybody's not on board, everybody's not on the same page.
Caller, good evening. Good evening, caller. All right, lost you. Michael McIntyre said this is not about money. This is about the children. The teachers did not ask for money. This is just a political ploy. So he is saying it's a political ploy, probably in an election year, to offer teachers more money, but they didn't want money.
But to me, that doesn't make sense.
To them, it's about the safety of the children. Let's see who's there. Caller, you're live.
Good afternoon, Aisha and Ron.
Hi.
Afternoon. Who don't want money?
Who don't what?
You see, this thing is technically orchestrated in order that some type of people will take it to what I'm saying. But the other type of people, they talk dog, whistle dog, you know. When they talk dog, whistle talk, they talk for one people hear one thing and next person hear nothing. So, teachers, all you got them to the work. Children, if all you have to say, go and learn. Forget about who trying to discourage one type of people from going and learning and one type of people from going to teach. All you be careful.
Thank you.
What is going on? What is who handling the situation? All right. All you don't want to hear stick breaking all ears. All right. A warning all you. Take it.
All right. Interesting indeed.
And you spent some time in the UK?
Yeah.
Do you have any insight into how their system works with referendums and different things that they engage the public in making contributions to settling a matter?
Well, all sides are included. So let's just say if it would be an issue with teachers, the PTA, the Teachers Association, school nurse, guidance counselors, school staff, persons involving that particular situation, whether it's education, would be called and, of course, briefed as to the direction the government intends to go, and they decide, well, whether they want 2 or 4. There's a matter of time frame that is given for each side to respond. They look for recommendations that they can agree upon, and they move on.
And that is, and because I'm thinking about, somebody asked if I want a job, and I'm saying it's not a job for one person. There's a job of a system that needs to exist, that our children can